Hello, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. This is John from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And the reason why I say that is because my microphone is changed now for the third time. And if you guys can hear me, please say something in the chat so that I know that you guys can hear me all right. I want to thank, right now we have only 6 in the chat, but there's a lot of people that'll probably come on to the chat here in a few minutes. Before we begin, want to thank all of you for either being here with me today, or those of you who are watching later on the replay. Please leave your questions in the chat. I'll try to get to you. We're going to try to make this only an hour today. The reason is I have a lot of honeydew things for the wife. She's coming back from visiting family, and I'd like to get some of those things done before she gets back. And so I've kind of carved out this afternoon, carved an hour out to kind of get back into the swing of things of going live and answering your questions. So hopefully you guys have some questions for me today. Before we begin, you guys are awesome. Just want to let you guys know you guys have been putting a lot of great comments in the videos, and I just want to thank you for your participation. And I'm going to really need your participation on this video today. I have some things I want to talk about, but you know, you can only talk so much when you have a few things that you want to discuss. So first of all, we have now 16 in the chat that are watching. So thank you for tuning in. We had a lot of people watching the last video that I put out about the USPS situation. And go watch the video if you haven't watched it. Essentially, I had a run-in with a disgruntled USPS employee who didn't want to do his job and really thought that maybe he was having a bad day and he'd take it out on the next customer that he dealt with. And so on that situation, I did have a management person contact me from the Postal Service, and they asked me a few questions. I already have given them a statement on the issue. So, you know, look, I'm not trying to get anyone into trouble. They need to know he'll probably keep his job based on seniority and all that stuff with the post office. But this person needs to know you can't treat people like that. And hopefully, and, you know, maybe it'll fall on deaf ears, but hopefully he'll change his ways and stop treating customers like this. And there's probably about another 5 to 10% of USPS employees that are just rude and just don't want to be there. I've seen them. You've seen them. The other 90% are good people just trying to do their job just like anyone else. So the whole point of the video really wasn't to throw USPS under the bus and make them look bad. It was just to, and like a lot of things that I put out in my videos, it's to give you an idea of what I deal with. That's what this channel is about. Maybe you can learn from it. And, you know, with your comments and your questions, I'm learning from you guys all the time. And so I just wanted to give you guys an update on that. So far, let me see, we have in the chat, we have Alan Thompson and Audrey Magnuson. You guys were here early. Thank you for being here early. We have the Aussie Hustler. It's, I don't know what time it is, but it's Monday morning for sure where you're at in Australia. Kevin Hawthorne, how you doing, Kevin? Keep making those videos. Let's see, Biscuit Butts in the house, and I see. Hi, John. Thanks for the mugs and stickers. Well, you're welcome for that. And you know, I hopefully they're what you we're wanting. We have Adrian Garris, Janet Span-Wetter, Ed the Reselling Writer, Lola Perez, Rose LaCastro, all right now in the chat. Thank you for participating. We did get a question. I'll start with a couple questions and we'll talk about some stuff here. Audrey Magnuson had a question when she first came on the managed payments. Will there be some way that eBay will let me know if a buyer has made a credit card payment, or do I just go ahead and print the label and send it blindly? Well, you know, this is the thing that a lot of people, they fall into this trap of, I haven't received my funds yet and I'm going to wait. Now, if you have your handling time set for 3 or more days, I mean, I don't recommend it, but certainly, you know, it's one of those things where you cannot wait for that money to get into your bank account before shipping it. It will cause you to have a late on your metrics, late shipping, and you'll never become a top rated seller or keep top rated seller status if your account is like that. And I have sold thousands of items since 2019 when I came on board Managed Payments, September of 2019. I haven't had one payment that, where eBay came back and said, hey, you didn't get paid here. I've been paid every time. And of course, you get your people that come back and say, hey, I don't recall this transaction. They do their chargebacks and all that. That's going to happen whether it was PayPal or Managed Payments. And I just think that because it's new, a lot of you are used to getting your payments like right now with PayPal. That's not happening anymore. And we have to adapt to the new system if we want to be successful. And I think there's a fear that eBay is not going to pay you. They haven't not paid me, and I haven't heard many stories where they haven't paid others. And I know that sometimes we can get holds on our funds. Always take that up with eBay Managed Payments, but I got to tell you that ship that thing out as soon as you get paid. It's going to help your account. I think we had Alan asking the same type of question. Once it's paid, that means that that money has been processed to your account. Well, it's in process to your account, but it's been processed to eBay. Okay, that means that the credit card company has approved the transaction, and eBay is in the process of collecting the money. And the big misconception also is that as soon as that customer pays, that money is in their account. And the reason why people think this is because PayPal has always fronted you the money while they waited for that transaction to clear on their end. And so we've been spoiled. We think, a lot of us think that money should be in eBay's hands, but it's not. When you go grocery shopping, you give that credit card and they give you the groceries. That grocery company doesn't have the money yet. It does take a couple days for them to actually receive the funds. And there's a process. It's part of the PCI process, payment card industry process, and we just have to trust it. And eBay has given me and many people I've talked to no reason not to trust it. As many videos as you see me put out that eBay does this, eBay does that, you guys, I think this is a losing battle. If you choose to wait for the payment and even set your handling time more than a day, in my opinion, I think you're really losing out, because people, when you set long handling times, people look at your listing and say, well, I want it by next week. I don't want it in 2 weeks. And if you're setting 3, 4, 5 days handling time, it's adding that time to what the customer sees them receiving it. And that may detour someone from saying, you know what, you have a great item at a great price, but I'd rather spend a few bucks more and get it next week. So hopefully we can get everyone on board with doing that. And if you have experienced a legitimate situation where you're not getting paid, please leave that in the comments here, because I'd like to know about it. I'd like to know what happened with it and maybe figure out why that's happening. But you know, if it is, you definitely should be contacting eBay Managed Payments to get them, and eBay for Business on Facebook to get them to straighten it out. We've got Archie being smart. Is the angel shirt because you're a guardian angel? Yeah, my bike's out front too. I'm a Hell's Angel. No, it's because I happen to be an Angels fan, and I just, you know, I try to change it up. I had someone actually, I think it was Orlando, who commented on my last video that wanted to know where my Angels gear was. So it's because of him that I'm wearing this today. That's why I'm wearing it, if I'm being honest. So Lola Perez says, how's liquidation going? Have you seen prices going up? You know, I have seen prices going up a little bit. I mean, but they've been sort of high anyway. I'm talking over the last few months, they've been going up. I have not been able to buy a Costco pallet since my Costco review. And I think some of it is because I put that Costco review out there. But then again, you know, it's good product. And when you put out good product, people are going to jump on it. And I'm not going to overpay. You you still got the people that are paying 90% of MSRP for Apple products and other things like that. And it just boggles my mind because these are open boxed. There's no guarantee that these items are even functional. So to take that leap of faith and somehow think you're going to pay 90% of MSRP before you pay for shipping, because you still have to pay for freight to ship it to you, I just don't understand it. And I think I'll share this with you. Archie and I bought a couple 16 box lots, and it was about a week ago or so. And I did not pay attention to the fact that the listing said, these are Amazon returns. The listing said 750 pounds for 16 boxes. I didn't even look at that. Whereas in the past, I bought these lots and you see, 400 to 500 pounds. So I picked mine up, got it home, and it was full of, about half of it was groceries, some health and beauty, some cleaning supplies. And in the last box, I ended up getting a brand new Ring, doorbell, and a couple other items that sort of salvaged the $500 purchase. So yeah, it's really a hit and miss. And I think Archie also ended up getting a 16 box lot full of cleaning products, and many of the bottles were empty. I do also hear someone also turned me into a channel called Liquidation Motivation. I watch it once in a while. I'm not giving them a plug, but I'm just telling you that this guy has given me a lot of good information on liquidation, and maybe opening in the future a bin store, which is something we don't have out here in Vegas. But I guess a lot of liquidation lots, a lot of the unmanifested lots are getting the masks and the sanitizer. You can ask Archie about that. And I don't want masks and sanitizer. So I think right now for me, it's going to be one of those things where if it's not manifested, at least for the next few months, I might be hesitant on getting it. Just my 2 cents, because I don't want to be surprised like I was surprised this last time. And, the idea of getting just cans of diet root beer and all this stuff that people, I don't even know how people return food to Amazon. It doesn't even make sense to me. But yeah, liquidation right now, the prices are higher and things are sort of falling through the cracks. I actually had a situation with the liquidation lot that I tried to purchase about a week ago. It was over the Memorial Day holiday, and the listing showed 16 boxes, and one of the boxes showed that there was like a leak in the side of the box. But when you scroll through the photos, there's 6 photos. They normally put in 3. There's a separate pallet of 10 boxes. So my contention was this must be for 26 boxes. So I bid accordingly, tried to call and clarify. Nobody would get back to me. Got down there to pick up the food boxes that I had picked up the day before. And this is before I paid for anything. And they told me that it was only for 10 boxes, even though the listing had 16 boxes as the main photo. So they ended up canceling it. And I'm kind of happy they did, because it probably would have been a bunch of cleaning supplies and stuff like that. So I'm going to take a break from that. I'm looking more for hard goods, more need versus want kind of things, because right now people are actually doing what they want to do. Instead of buying one of these fun things to do at home, they're going out vacation, and maybe they need some stuff and they're going to be buying that stuff for themselves. Carolyn A. Hi, good day, John. It's 8 a.m. Monday here in Victoria, Australia. Awesome. Well, you guys are getting your shipping ready, I hope. Ed, the reselling writer. I changed my handling to 3 days because I got a defect for late shipping because post office didn't scan it, and I don't mind delay payment since I sell on Poshmark and Mercari. Yeah, Poshmark and Mercari. You ship your item out and the funds are on hold. That money doesn't even get released until that customer says that they're good with it. Good thing about that is no returns. I love it. And they don't get to use your item for 30 days and say, I don't like it so much anymore, and send it back. I want to give a shout out to the 25 years too late. Like your content, well worth $10. Thank you for the super chat. Certainly do appreciate it. I've been investing money in my channel. Don't know if you see this. You probably can hear it now. Got my my Blue Yeti, even though it's black. And that way I can keep it away from my face and you guys can hear me. I hope you can hear me, but nobody's complained so far. So again, thank you for watching. Appreciate you being part of the program as well. Doris Hamilton says, hello from Archie's mom in Kansas. Hello, Archie's mom. How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. And we will have Archie on at a later date. The last one, we sort of did a trial run to have both of us kind of talking. That way we didn't have the hiccups with the video and the audio. I think it went pretty well. And it's certainly something that you're going to see on this program here in the future, for sure. Lola Perez says, the food items were expired. No, they weren't. Actually, they still had about a 6 to 12 month shelf life. So I don't know. I don't know why they were sent back. I think Amazon has a thing. If it's 9 months or less, it gets pulled. Maybe I'm wrong. Put that down below. I just don't sell food items. I mean, some of these items were, you know, like granola bars and your canned drinks. That's where a lot of the weight came from. You had, you know, like Nutri-Grain bars, like health stuff, some protein powder. And my son came down that weekend and, you know, he went through it and took some stuff home. So yeah, it's definitely is not something. If I wanted to go grocery shopping with $500, I certainly would have bought a lot more and a lot better stuff than that. So it's just one of those things that you get. Ernie Padilla, Flippin' Ain't Easy. Appreciate your channel, bro. You've helped me a lot, and I appreciate your videos. Thank you. No, I thank you. Again, if only 20 people watched my program, I probably would have gave up about, you know, 6 months ago. Honestly, because the whole point in this channel was when I made this channel, it was the fact that I was watching certain content creators and they weren't really addressing a lot of different things. And then when they did, they sort of glossed over it. My goal, if you guys are interested in watching this type of content, is to kind of dive into the policies and the things that maybe your average eBayer isn't all that aware of. And I think by mastering the policies, understanding what we are expected to do by eBay, it's going to help your stores. It's going to help your experience as an eBay seller. And that's sort of the whole reason for this. And Ernie, thank you for the super chat. I certainly appreciate it, guys. It's definitely, I do these lives, not for this kind of thing. Really, it's because I feel like, you know, we have 7,300 people that are subscribed to the channel, and it's your participation. I sort of feel obligated to make these live videos for you guys, because I think that having that interaction with your audience is very important. And I mean, I couldn't express it anymore how grateful I am for you guys, really. And so certainly appreciate that. And don't worry about that, Ernie. That's $9.99 more than I was expecting, and I certainly appreciate you and for doing that. Thank you. Sheila, hello from Virginia. Hi, Sheila. And we have Lola is also asking, what liquidation company would you recommend? Well, to start, I would say you would want to start with, say, like a liquidation.com. That's sort of our go-to place when our other avenues have we've hit a roadblock. Places I would avoid and run as far away as you can from would be your bulk.coms, something like that, I think. And I still don't understand why eBay has partnered with such a company who constantly deliver pallets that have almost no value for resellers. And I made that mistake when I first started doing this full-time back in the early part of 2019. Actually, I think I did it when I was still full-time at my job back in 2018. And it was absolutely one of the worst places to source. I have been talking with the CEO of a major liquidation company, and really, I'm going to leave it at that, because I don't know where it's going to end up. I'm hoping that we can eventually do something for this channel to maybe offer, viewers some kind of a discount code, but I won't kind of go into who it is or all the details just yet. At some point in the future, I plan on trying to have that, maybe put that out for you guys. But we're working behind the scenes, trying to give more than just advice and information. We're sort of trying to deliver good sourcing avenues and value as well. I mean, you could certainly try B-Stock. I've heard people had a lot of issues with going in and setting up an account because they didn't have an actual EIN number. For me, it was just, and it's always been, a seller certificate is enough. And okay, just seeing if someone was hitting me up on my text. Sometimes I get texts when I'm actually doing these live streams and someone's trying to tell me something. So Ed the Reseller, I think it was your last video, but you're right that eBay is encouraging these false returns, with eBay covering the refund and us keeping the money. Eventually another marketplace will overtake eBay. But here's the problem, okay? The one thing that I remember from high school, and I wasn't the smartest kid in high school, I'm sure a lot of you are surprised by that, but, and I'm just joking, but I remember my economics teacher telling me, or telling all the class, that there's no free lunch. And he said that every day when we came into class. And just because eBay gives this customer, $100 because they send a false return, and they're going to contact eBay now and open a case when you decide to deduct 50%, that doesn't mean that they got that for free. What happens is companies don't just pass out stuff for free. They put it on the back of the sellers. That's where, we have to absorb the cost. So the next time we end up with an increase in final value fees, you can think transactions like this, where your customer went to eBay and eBay just caved in and gave them their money back, because eBay is not interested. I guarantee you, eBay is not interested in giving money away. And that just shows from the many things that they do, that, like with the enhancements that they make, are designed to help them make money. They're not really designed to help us have an easier experience on eBay. And many of you that sell and have been dealing with the item specifics fiasco over the last year can attest to that. Audrey Magnuson, do you reduce your price if it expires unsold? And if so, how many times do you go down in price? Well, I try to do things like, for instance, mine don't really expire. They just kind of continue to roll over. Good till canceled is what most of us have. If you're talking about like an auction, and if you're selling with the app, eBay, for whatever reason, tries to promote auctions versus just having you do a fixed price listing. I don't know why, because auctions are sort of a dying thing in my opinion. But as far as lowering your price, I would certainly relist it with a lower price, but check the comps. Is it even selling? Are you priced too high as compared to what it's been selling for? Remember, what you want for an item doesn't at all matter, okay? The only thing that matters is the market. So if the market says your $15 item that you have listed on eBay is only worth 10, well, that's what most people are only going to buy it for, okay? And the market is going to adjust to that. So your competitors that are selling that item are going to see it. They're going to lower their item price while you keep your item at $15. And you have to, all part of the competition, you have to source well to be able to adjust your prices. That's why someone who sources a 10, say they're selling it for 15, price goes down to 10, but they're only into it for 2, they have the room to do that. But if you bought that item for 7, you're not going to be able to bring it down to 10 without losing money. And so that's why I tell you guys, it's all about sourcing. That's how you make your money in this game. It gives you so much flexibility and leeway to meet your market price. And I would keep going down as much as you're able to. Now, if you get too low, you can always try to be creative. You can take multiples and lot them out, which, like if you have two $10 items, you can now maybe say $18.99 for 2, and you're only in it for just the 1 shipping and not 2 shipping. and you're still going to pay the final value fees off the $8.99, but you're not going to pay for 2 shipping labels, if that makes sense. So hopefully, that gives you some ideas. Found Bonanza to be a flop. What's your view on Mercari as a supplement to eBay? Bonanza is a flop. I heard that for collectibles, people are making a big push to like HIP and Depop and other sites because they're kind of tired of eBay's antics. And Bonanza, though, is not the one to jump to. Mercari is something that I found. I had, it was what? I think I had 150 to 200 items out of my eBay store. I had the VA that I hired move all those, not move them, but cross-post all of the 150 I gave him. And it was the 150 lowest price items that I had in my store. And what I noticed was I moved more of my $10, $15, $20 items on Mercari than I did on eBay. And I maybe only have a handful of items left from that cross-posting session on Mercari. And it's just weird. It's like some things that people aren't buying on eBay, they're buying on Mercari. It's like a different type of customer. So I would definitely encourage you, if you have your, anywhere up to maybe $20 and $30 items on eBay, try selling those on Mercari. And you're going to find that you're going to sell items that maybe you've been sitting in your store for a long time on eBay. Those actually will go a lot faster. It's sort of a yard sale, an online yard sale mentality that's over there at Mercari. People are going to be asking you for deals. They're going to like your item, and the expectation is you're going to go in and be proactive and offer them deals. Same thing with eBay. I get a lot of my sales when I get offers to watchers. So you have to be, on any platform, you have to be proactive. Ernie, again, welcome, bro. Great content. I look forward to your videos. Keep up the good work. I will definitely do my best. That's all I can say. There's been many times, I think there's at least a handful of videos I've made that have never made it to my channel. By the time I start editing it, I get about halfway through and I say, you know what? I don't like it, and I'm not going to send this and put this out. And sometimes it's a waste of 2 to 3 hours by the time I get to that point. But again, when I'm reviewing my videos, I'm looking at, is this something as a eBay reseller that I would want to watch? Sometimes I put out videos that do well, and sometimes I just, it's a flop and don't get many people that watch it. I plan on, now that I have my microphone situation taken care of, I can now go on here and make videos where I'm on eBay. You see me in the corner and I'm kind of clicking through and I'm showing you maybe some things that I do that maybe can help others. So that's sort of the hope there. And I'm going to be focusing on things like that. And hopefully it's content you guys want to watch. But please do me a favor, put in the comments, or if you're watching right now, chat, please put what you want, what type of videos you want to see me create, because ultimately this channel is about you. I mean, I'd be glad to make whatever I want, but only 2 of you want to watch it. It's really not worth my time. Ernie again, Ernie Padilla, I have done B stock, but stay away from the sellers in Miraloma. They did me dirty by the time I realized there's a bunch of broken and damaged items. Now, that's sort of surprising to me. When you say Miraloma, that tells me that you're dealing with Costco, because that's where actually the 2 lots that I received came from. I think it's very important, and something that I realized is you have to watch your conditions when you're dealing with anything, but especially the Costco Miraloma folks, or anywhere from Costco for that matter. If it's not an A or B condition, you probably aren't going to get a lot of good stuff, because my second lot that I bought from them, I didn't notice that, and it just said mixed condition. And I ended up getting, like, and Archie will tell you, it's about, what, 12 speakers, these big speakers that, you take to the beach and all that, but half of them didn't even work. Well, at least I thought they didn't work until Archie came over and started pushing buttons, and we had already made a deal. So, it just a lot of banged up stuff because Costco does not give you a 30-day return. They give you a open-ended return. You can return it, buy that speaker, and after about 3 or 4 summers, it gets beat up, bring it back, we'll give you your money back. I can't believe that any company would do that. But when you buy liquidation from them, you're going to be on the receiving end of that product. And that's just something that you have to do. And then let's see, it was too late to report them. They labeled it as A and B condition. Okay. They threw in some good stuff, but I lost profit for sure. Yeah, it can be very expensive because you have a lot of people that have bought from them before, and it can be some good product. But I refuse to go over a certain amount because, again, it's all about sourcing. And if I'm paying 60% MSRP for something, I have absolutely no room to move if something happens with the market and the prices go down. So that's the main reason why I just draw my line and I move on. And you have to be disciplined. Like certain times a year, it's very hard to get product. Like at the beginning of the year, product is plentiful because you get a lot of returns over the holidays, but it starts to slow down. And like right now, for me at least, I'm finding it just difficult to get the kind of items that I want at the prices that I'm willing to pay. Audrey says that she always checks the solds before she sets her price, and that's definitely a good idea. But the market will change. So I have a lot of items that I've listed months ago that have not moved. And if I went back right now, I probably would find that some of them are either overpriced or there's probably an error somewhere in my listing. And you'd be surprised when you go back and audit your listings, you'll find a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of stuff back here that I've put away in bins, and I'll go back and kind of sort through it, and I'll pull items out, and I'm like, this isn't even listed. So, you'll be surprised. There's a lot of people with a set it or a list it and forget it kind of mentality, and you got to get away from that. You got to set a day, maybe at the end of your week where you're going back and you're just reviewing your items and making sure that things are listed properly. Rose, thank you for the support. No, thank you again. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you, Rose. I really appreciate you and being here. It's, so many things that you guys could be doing on a Sunday. We've got 60 people watching right now. It's so many things you could be doing on a Sunday. And certainly you guys have chose to take your time to spend with me today, and I couldn't be more grateful. Semper Fi, 1918. Anyone issues with listings updating to a better description like one of mine went from good to new? So you're saying you had an item with a condition of, what was it, like open boxed? I don't really know of any condition as labeled good. You could have maybe used or refurbished, open boxed or new. You're saying that it changed from good to new. I think I heard someone talking about that with collectibles, where a certain condition was initially put in when the listing was created, and then somehow when and I don't even know who does this behind the scenes, but eBay goes in and decides in this category, we have item specifics that need to be changed or added. And at that point, they move your item to a different category or something like that. And it changes the actual condition because the condition you actually had in that last category is now not offered in this new category, something like that. So yes, if anyone has that answer other than the answer I gave, maybe a better answer, please post that in the comments or in the chat. I'd appreciate that. Let's see. Biscuit Butt. He says that if you can go back and tell your rookie self one thing about reselling you know now, what would it be? The one thing that sort of delayed me when I first went full time, it's funny because I went back on my Facebook and I saw a post that I made, all proud. I went to Ross, Marshalls, hit the clearance aisles, spent hundreds of dollars and brought like 2 carloads home full of shoes and toys. And I had all that stuff behind me and I'm taking pictures. And weeks afterwards, I was still holding on to a lot of that stuff. And so I think the number one thing that I need to do, what I should have done when I started, was to really do my homework and not just watch a couple of YouTube videos, see how people are going to Ross and Marshall's and think that somehow I'm going to knock it out of the park. It was a mistake. And I wish that I would have found a way, whether it's through yard selling, whether it's a system through thrift stores, or whether it's doing what I do now with liquidation, finding a way to source that's consistent, if that makes sense. Because I was driving around to different Burlington coat factories, Ross, Marshalls, checking out the Walmart clearances, spending a lot of time, and I didn't really have an idea of how much merchandise I was going to take home to resell. And, you know, I would check out the comps. I'd see one person has sold something in 90 days, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought, okay, well, it's selling for that, so I'll buy it. And I didn't realize, well, that was a one-off type of situation. So it's always good to really be in tune with the solds versus what's listed. When you do a search on eBay, you'll have a number at the top of the screen. So when you're doing a search, just in general, what's currently selling, it'll tell you how many competitors I will have for that item. Now, when I scale down to the solds, it'll also say that number will be at the top. That's how many have sold in the last 90 days. So you sort of want to do the math. And if I have 1,000 items that are currently being sold for the one I'm about to buy, but I look in the last 90 days and only a handful have sold, I've got a lot of competition for the next person who needs that one-off item. So I didn't really take a lot of that into account. And I would say that's the number one thing that you guys should do. And it's a video that I probably should make because I really don't see a lot of it, is where I'm searching for this item. I need to evaluate my current competition and also evaluate how many have sold in the last 90 days. So that's the number one thing I would recommend to people who are just beginning. Lola says that I got a lot from 888 liquidation. Not bad at all, but know that same lot is double the money. So I have not bought from 888 liquidation. There's a lot of different companies, like there's Via Trading and companies like that I cannot speak to, because when I look at their lots, they just don't appeal to me. Maybe in the past when I first started, I may have gone for those, but I'm not trying to take chances. I mean, yeah, I'll buy these mystery boxes at liquidation.com once in a while, but usually it's because I have had more success than I have, failed, like the last couple weeks. And for me, it's not like I'm spending $5,000 on these lots. I'm spending $300, $400, $500 a pop. And usually, even on the bad lots, I'll get most of my money back. But I'm usually making money on those lots. How much was it to hire a VA to cross list? Well, you can go to Fiverr.com. There's some other sites, but I usually use Fiverr. Like some of the graphics that I have made, like the logo for the channel. You just go on there and put VA, Mercari VA, or eBay VA, and you'll find a handful of people who will do it for anywhere from $2 to $4 an hour. But see, what I would do is, because I don't want to hire someone that I can't actually evaluate their work. I don't know if they're cooking dinner while trying to do my listing while doing homework for school. I don't want that kind of situation. So what I like to do is find a VA who will do it a set amount of listings for a certain dollar amount. I think we did something to the effect of 90 listings for like $30. And this guy had advertised that I think he did something in the past where he did like 50 at a time, but I think I only had like 100 to 150. So I think it wasn't a whole lot of money. It was really, really inexpensive. I almost felt bad, but this is good money to those people in those countries. You're talking the Philippines, you're talking Pakistan. And the only thing I really had to do was to create sort of a temporary password for my Mercari account. I didn't have to give them anything for my eBay account, because I told them just to pull up my store, find the items. Here are the items I want you to sort them from lowest price, and take the lowest 150 items from my store, and I want you to list them and copy and paste the photos. You can do that without being in the account, and paste the photos into Mercari. And I had to give them a generic password that I eventually changed when they were done with the work. But aside from that, and some of you may not be comfortable with giving anyone out your password, but aside from that, you can use programs like List Perfectly, where you can give access to a VA to all the different accounts, but you're paying like $30, $40 a month for the service. And this way it just didn't cost anything. It worked out. And again, with programs like Fiverr, these people want to keep working. So if you put a bad review that this person did this wrong or that wrong, it's going to hurt them. So they're going to be eager to deliver a good product. And it's definitely something that I use. VAs are actually a good tool to help you. Lola says, in my experience, Mercari is for more frugal customers. Right. It's like an online yard sale. But I mean, if I'm into an item for $2 and I do the math and I can say, you know what, I'm trying to get 15 for it, but I can get, after shipping and fees, $4. Hey, let's move it. Let's get it out of here. So I'm fine with that. Sometimes, it's not about getting what you want or what, you think it's worth. It's about, what, can I get this money back? It was not a really good purchase. It's, maybe something I wouldn't have bought if I could do it all over again. But if I have a way of getting that money back, getting that cost back, you know what, do it. And use sites like that helps you get that money back. And the reselling writer said, that's the reason why I use List Perfectly and eBay 6 views on Mercari 20, Facebook 200, and it sells on Facebook. Yeah, you can even do Facebook Marketplace. Cross-posting is worth it, but the fear that I have, and I've always had with cross-posting is, I have an item on Facebook Marketplace, I have an item on eBay, and it sells on Marketplace, and before I get a chance to get to eBay to get rid of that item, it's sold on eBay. And so you have to kind of choose, I know that eBay will frown on me canceling. I might get a negative feedback with the buyer. So I'm probably going to go over here to Marketplace and cancel the transaction. So you don't want to be in that position. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of good programs out there that I'm aware of that really do a good job in your inventory management like that. And Stud Hamilton, anybody who enjoys Twitch and video games, go check out my man Stud Hamilton on Twitch. And he is not only an Angels fan, but he is an awesome gamer. And if you want to be entertained, that man is the man. Sachi Jones 85. What's your target ROI? Return of investment. So I'm looking to, I'm thinking about, is my margin is about 55 to 60% is what I'm shooting for. So that means a lot of times I'll have an item that I'm in for like $2, and I will, sell that item for, 10 after fees and stuff like that. I'm making, maybe anywhere from $3 to $5. But of course, I don't shoot for small ticket items. I'm just using that as an example for you. My average sale price is somewhere around $30 to $40. I really think, and I'm really a firm believer that if you target higher ticket items, it's less items you have to sell, okay, to make whatever dollar amount you're trying to deal with. But also it gives you, if you buy it right, it gives you a lot of leeway to lower that money. Or to lower that price. Lola, I like all your videos, but you provide a lot of great liquidation info. I try to provide what I know, and the problem with liquidation videos is that I don't get a lot of people that really want to see that information. I think I'm getting a lot of people who want to see things about people being scammed and all that, and I think sometimes it comes off as me being a complainer, but it's just really reporting, here's what I'm dealing with. But certainly I will be providing some liquidation videos here in the future. It's certainly something I have a lot of experience on. I think I have purchased at least as far as large truckloads, at least 75 truckloads, or not truckloads, but deliveries by freight over the last year and a half, 2 years. So I have a lot of experience dealing with liquidation and different liquidation companies. Adrian Garris, can you give a synopsis on List Perfectly, if not too far off topic? Well, it's List Perfectly, and I don't have any affiliation with them. In fact, I'm not even subscribed to them anymore. I tried them for a couple months. I just didn't think I was using it enough. But it's a situation where you can go on to List Perfectly, you go on and you tie in the program, and if you have a Chrome browser, a Google Chrome browser, you can actually have the that attached to the browser. And so that, for instance, I'm on eBay and I have all my stuff that's listed on eBay, but there's a List Perfectly button next to each item that I have listed. And I'll just click on that and I'll tell it I want it to list that over on the Mercari and over to Facebook Marketplace, a lot of different places. The only problem with that is you have like, I think 80 characters for an eBay title, and Mercari it's like 50. So you have to go back and you have to go in and take the keywords, and it's just about the same amount of work as far as I'm concerned. So I just didn't feel that paying the 30 to 40 bucks a month was really a big time saver for me. And I mean, others might like it. I just think that for me, I have two monitors. I can put eBay on one monitor, Mercari on the other, and just do it that way. And for me, it works. Or hire my VA and give them that same method, and within 7 days, I'll have 150 listings on Mercari that I already have on eBay. Let's see. IC says, have bought on eBay. A couple sellers have added a small gift. One was a notebook, other keychain, and for separate biz. Do you think this is a good idea? If you're looking for repeat business, so if you have a niche and you're trying to attract people to come back, it's also good to maybe put a little thank you note with a coupon code. We're now, I don't know if many of you know, but over the last month or so, eBay has given us the ability to create a coupon code. So whether that's a 10, 15, 20%, you decide what it is, you name it. Simply, if you have a little flyer, a little whatever you want to put in with your product, thank them for their business and say, hey, for your next purchase, please come back with this coupon. And that is probably the better way to do it. And again, if you have a niche and you're including an item that someone might really think is cool, do it. If you have a bunch of one thing, like for instance, Archie, he has a lot of sanitizer, and he probably can include one sanitizer with each of his items. And I think that would be a nice little gesture. Speaking of him, I think some of your viewers would like to see you more in action, like sourcing, shipping, unboxing, thrifting. What do you all think? Yeah, what do you guys all think? I mean, I made a video a few days back, maybe a week or so back, where I was packaging up those 5 Shark vacuums into a large U-Haul box. And I don't know if you all like that, but certainly I'd be willing to make more of those. Those are fun to make. JZZN Products. I noticed I was getting dinged for not shipping the same day, even though my store closes for shipping at noon weekdays and closed on weekends. Keep note of it. Maybe it's a glitch in the system. You know what? I read a post before I came on board here that someone had all these packages over the Memorial Day weekend, and they didn't ship them until Tuesday, like most of us, and they gave them a late on all their Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday sales, even though I think they had 1 day handling. So go back, check your seller hub, go and check your performance, go check out your lates, make sure you're under 3%. And certainly if you have anything from Memorial Day weekend, go to each one of those items, find when the scan took place, contact eBay and have them remove those, because that will hurt your status. Dan Frisco says that garage yard sales in my area are bad. Lots of junk for $1. Seems people are selling their decent stuff online, trying to get rid of the junk with garage yard sales. And that's happening a lot with liquidations too. So you go into Marketplace, you find a lot of these liquidators that are selling these Amazon boxes. it was funny. The day that I had that situation with that USPS employee last week, I met with Archie. We went down to a couple of these places that you see on Marketplace. And that's kind of what's happening. We found one guy who was selling a large pallet, and it had all the off Chinese brands on Amazon, just loads of them, right? But you couldn't really look it up because these brands were already maybe even pulled from Amazon, and you really couldn't find any comps. And it was just like, where's the good stuff? You don't see any of the good stuff. And then we went to this other, it was like a Russian mafia place. It was set up like a bin store, and they had different mystery boxes. Now, what was crazy about this is they had all the Amazon, it was an Amazon box, and yet each box had a different price on it. And I asked her, I said, well, okay, if these are mystery boxes, how do you have a price on them? She's like, well, because one box is better than the other. I said, well, how do you know that if you haven't looked into it? And she says, I've got my ways. So it just tells you. And Archie also noticed that one of the corners was kind of lifted up, even though they had the brown tape. Anybody can buy the brown that tape, that the box tape. Forgot the exact name of it because I don't use it. It's what you want to look for when you're dealing with these mystery boxes is, do they have the Amazon tape still in place, not cut open? Because I looked, you cannot find Amazon tape unless maybe you're buying it directly from China or someone's bootlegging it for you. You can't find it. And I'm more willing to trust boxes that say sealed when it's sealed with Amazon tape than with clear tape, that brown box tape. It just to me, it's sketchy. So you've got to be careful when dealing with these people, because a lot of times they're selling to people who don't know any better. Yeah, they'll get some stuff that has some value in, but all the good stuff has been picked out. And that's what a lot of liquidators are doing right now. From what I understand, just kind of researching on this, you really have to get to the source, because you have your people who are authorized to get these truckloads of Amazon stuff or whatever company you're dealing with. And then they sell these pallets to lower ended people who are then picking apart these pallets and putting the pallets back together after they've picked through them. And now they're passing them off to you, and they're making their money back and getting all this good stuff that you could have received. Let's see here. Yeah, tons of yard sales so far in the last few months. There's a lot of yard sales going on. Let's take a look here. I see about eBay, a couple of sellers have added small gift. Okay, I think I've already read that one. Sorry. I am liquidating my antique store, and I go to estate sales and yard sales. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you choose to source that way versus thrift stores or even liquidation, you're going to learn what works for you. After, the first time you might go, you might say, if I only picked up that item, I didn't know any better. You're going to learn these things as you go. And the same thing goes with anything else you do. But if you're kind of all over the place and you don't really have a way to source, you're just buying the first thing, you're really never going to pick up onto trends and things that work. So find a way to source and what works for you, what you're most comfortable doing, and just stick with it and get better at it. I've had some luck finding decent stuff on Etsy and flipping for a small profit. There's people that do that on eBay. They buy from you. They say, don't include that invoice. Maybe you had it priced too low and they found a way to sell it to someone else. Hey, it is what it is. But, it's, to me, if you find a few items like that, certainly it might be worth taking the risk. But I would rather source where I can just be consistent rather than relying on finding a few items here and there. Let's take a look. Ricardo says, light up that halo. Well, I didn't get to watch the rest of the game. We were winning, but hey, I assumed that we would win. So awesome if we did. Ernie, I noticed that certain items sell better on Facebook Marketplace than eBay. Certainly they do. And, for me, I'm still more of an eBay guy. Like Archie's more of a marketplace kind of guy. I'm trying to find a nice balance, but I've had things listed. I had some saws. I had a pallet of Lowe's like tools, and I had these two large table saws, and I had one miter saw, listed them, had great photos. They're like open box, brand new, and not a bite. And I wasn't overpricing them. And you price them at $100, they're worth $200 at Lowe's, and still not getting anyone offering me 75 or whatever for them. Let's see. What happens if I don't register as a seller to the new eBay payment program? Well, I can tell you what happened to my daughter. She had a bunch of stuff listed. Okay. And of course, she's got a busy life. She's got dealing with 2 kids that are very young kids that are need her attention, and dealing with her house, and just dealing with things that life brings you. And so she had all this stuff listed, but she wasn't paying attention. Day to day. She received a message from eBay saying, hey, you need to switch over to manage payments by this date. And she never did. And she was wondering, why am I not getting any sales? And it turns out that, hey, your store is not even active. eBay, after a while, will just shut you down, and so don't do that. You have to, if you want to play eBay's game, you have to play by their rules. As much as we want PayPal back, unless you're selling on a platform that accepts PayPal, PayPal's not a thing anymore. So, and I hate to say that, it was really cool. I can tell you one of the coolest things about 2019 is I'd have $10,000 to $15,000 in my PayPal account, and I would only send over money when I wanted to. Just kind of cool keeping that kind of money off to the side, but it's not a thing anymore. So you guys just gotta know that eBay will do what they got to do to get you to comply. And there's many people right now who just refuse to do it. Everyone has their reasons, and I respect that. But I've not seen any problems with managed payments. So until I do, I'm going to play eBay's game. And they will block you from selling. And let's see. Lola, thank you for your hard work in putting this video up for us to learn. You know what? I learned from you guys too. So when I come out with something, and maybe I'll have a certain perspective, someone will post something that says, hey, maybe you're looking at it wrong. It makes me kind of sit back and think, well, maybe I am wrong here. Certainly, I have grown as an eBay salesperson from a lot of the stuff that you guys put in your comments. So please, not only on this live chat, but if you're watching the replay of this video, certainly if I've said anything wrong or there's anything you can add that's going to help me. Uh-oh, everyone loves that sound. So I got a great sale here. Good. Let's see. Ernie, I like hiring VA on Fiverr because they said they do all your item specifics too. I haven't had a VA mess with my eBay. The plan was to do that, but I didn't want to have them, all messed up with my item specifics. I didn't want to have to go back and correct all that. So I said that the best thing for me is to have a VA do the cross postings the other direction to the other sites. And I thought that worked out pretty well. And then Frau says, 17 years on eBay, I'm not going to register in the managed payment system. And I get it. It stinks. It's not the same. And it was supposed to be this one-stop thing, but it's not so bad. I still have it set up for same-day payments. I probably should have it set up for weekly payments because, it's just when I go back and do the accounting on my bank and I pull out money for my taxes, it's one of those things where I would rather have just all that money accumulating in PayPal, and it's just not going to happen. And some people don't like the idea of giving their social security number. Some people don't like the idea of having to give out their checking account information, and eBay being able to ding your checking account if you don't have an available balance if something goes wrong. But again, it's their game. With shipping costs and shipping material pricing going up, are you going to be increasing your shipping charges, keep them the same, or offer free shipping? It all depends on the item. Your last question there. So if the way I have it worked out on my account, if the item is under £1, I'm offering free shipping because that's not going to cost more than $6. Even with the new changes coming up, it'll be around $6 is the highest first class package. And eBay will even allow you to ship a 1 pound item as first class. So that's good within the continental United States. But anything larger than that, I have flat shipping rates. So like, for instance, anything that is over a pound, I will have as a $9.99 shipping anywhere in the United States. And usually these are your 2 to 3, 4, 5 pound items. Anything more than 5 pounds to about 10, I'll assign a $19.99. And anything that's like over 10, I will assign a $29.99 flat shipping rate. And the reason is, I noticed by doing calculated, I turned off a lot of people on the East Coast. I mean, charging them 30, 40 bucks. Because what happens is eBay will say to your buyer, hey, this big item is going to cost 40 bucks. But by the time you get it, it's only going to be with your discount on whether it's FedEx, UPS for those larger items, you're paying like 60% of that. And so I didn't see the need to make money that way. And there's a lot of items I was making money on that way. But I think it's a lot easier just to put a flat shipping rate, and that works out well for me. And another thing also, I've noticed that UPS is also overcharging for their labels after the item shipped. I have decided I'm not dealing with this billing stuff. Anything that requires eBay to bill, or actually FedEx and UPS to bill eBay for a label that I purchased under the guise of it should be $10, but they're trying to charge me $20. I'm not doing that anymore. I found a site. They're not at all sponsoring this channel, but I am using a site called shippo.com where they charge you up front. There's no hidden charges. And sometimes, actually a couple labels I ran last week, that label was cheaper on Shippo than on eBay with my top rated seller discount for UPS. I don't think they do FedEx, but I don't want to deal with FedEx anyway with everything they've done to me. So that works out well, and something I definitely recommend you looking into. I know they charge you like $10 a month for the service, but I think the first 2 months are free to try out, and it also links up with your eBay account too. So something to look into. Vintage Philly says that same thing happened with my eBay orders over Memorial Day weekend. I tried to contact eBay, can't find a phone number anymore. Go on to Facebook and go on to Instant Messenger. Look up eBay for Business. Send them a message with all the item numbers where you were deemed late, and they will look into it. I think of all the folks that we have a chance to contact at eBay, the most competent ones are basically there at eBay for Business. And so I would definitely recommend you taking that route. No, it's not masking tape. It's that paper tape. It's called paper tape. It's the brown paper tape where you have like a machine that actually goes in and you run it over it and it wets the tape and you put it on the box and it sort of seals the box. It makes it look very professional. But there's a lot of people out there who will, it's sort of the same as someone buying an item, maybe an open boxed item, and they open it up and they put it back and they have a shrink wrap machine. Well, you got a lot of liquidators that'll buy these boxes, they'll rifle through it, take the $100+ items out, seal them back up with that paper tape machine, and it looks like it's professional. But I have to tell you, if you're buying Amazon boxes and you don't have Amazon tape on it, you are probably getting the wrong end of the deal here. Janet Spanwetter, I have lots of baseball cards and football cards from my childhood. Best place to find their value and sell them, I would say, from a former baseball card collector way back in the day, maybe Beckett.com. Beckett used to make the price guides, and I think they still do. Beckett.com, Beckett.com is what I would start at. But also, your market is also eBay. If a certain card is selling for $10 on eBay, even though Beckett says it's worth $20, your value really is only $10. That's what someone's willing to pay for it. What's the main advantage of having a store? I have close to 400 items listed. Well, just that. I think they're giving out more free listings to even those who don't have a store, but I think it's capped at $250 if you don't have a store. So for every item that you're listing, now you may have 400 items listed, but it's more than that. So think of it like this. I have 400 items listed, but if I sell 5 a day, over a course of a 30-day month, that's 150 items that are going in and out of my store. So really, you have about 550 to 600 items that are listed because you're selling. Hopefully you're selling. And you have to account for that as well. And I think you're paying all those insertion fees when you would be receiving a bunch of free insertions. I think it's like $1,000, 1,000 listings for just the first store. Maybe I'm wrong. I know they changed it. So, oh, and you guys did hear that cha-ching sound. It is a beautiful sound. Stud Hamilton doing a great job. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Stud. And good luck with your Twitch there. You're doing great. Linda Wyatt, use separate account for eBay managed payments. So yeah, get a separate checking account. One that's not tied to your personal account, and have all your funds going in there. Maybe have a savings account, pull your, calculate whatever you need to calculate for your federal and state taxes, pull that into your savings within that account, and then pay yourself out of your checking and have it, linked transferring your funds, just like you would have it transfer from PayPal. You can create your own PayPal account. The only, in that way, how we used to see it, and let those funds accumulate. You just aren't going to have the money right away, and you have to adjust and adapt. And someone I watched a video on said it pretty well. If your business model is such to where you have to have that money right away to continue doing business, then you're probably not sourcing and doing the things that you should do. You should have money available to run your daily business and not rely on that daily payment. Let's see. I went from daily deposits from managed payments to weekly. So vetted the system. I don't see anything so far wrong with it, and to streamline my accounting. Yeah. Show off with the cha-ching. I'm not hearing it, so I got excited. So, hey, it doesn't happen to me very often. I hear a lot of people making these videos, and I don't know if they have someone maybe doing it for them. Hey, buy this item and I'll give you your money back, just so that it can pop up on my live stream. But I assure you that's not what happened here. So it's the first time it's happened to me, and it's kind of cool. And actually it happened before I started this live stream, and I was thinking, darn, a few more minutes, more, and I would have been able to have that at the beginning of my show. So it's kind of cool. It's still a slow weekend. I can tell you, I think I've only sold less than 20 items this weekend on my main account. Haven't checked the other account, but that's slow. I'm used to having on Monday at least 1 to 2 those big USPS bags. I call them Santa bags, the kind that you'd see Santa putting over his back, loaded with just packages. That's not happening tomorrow, unless I get a lot of people in the next 6 to 7 hours buying stuff. What happens if you use the USPS media shipping if it not go through? You should only use the USPS media shipping if you have qualified media items in there. But I'm not quite sure I understand. They will provide you a tracking number on there. So maybe you might want to clarify that question. Have you had any issues with global shipping program? I shut mine off. Too many sellers saying they weren't receiving the item, and eBay holding money until investigated. Lost the case even though stated delivered. Well, I've had issues with the global shipping program. I had a chargeback recently, someone who claims they did not receive, and I will give you guys a few seconds to just guess what country they were from. Anybody out there where it's Monday morning have an idea? Well, I'll go ahead and share it with you. They were in Australia. Now, I love my Australia viewers. I think you guys are probably the smartest folks out there. But, I don't know what's going on here. I get a lot of problems with global shipping going to Australia for some reason. And this person stated they didn't receive the item, even though what's cool, Australian Post, and I don't know exactly, those of you out there who are doing your shipping right now can probably put it in the chat, but VAB or something, or AVB or something is the name of their post, where they have really, really good detailed tracking information. So I was able to find that tracking number once it got to Australia, and then they delivered it to the customer. I was able to get that tracking information, and it says tracking, the tracking shows delivered, to the location per the buyer's request or to the customer's request. And I thought that was kind of cool because I submitted that with my chargeback information. So they're going to say, hey, look, not only was it delivered, you interacted with the Australian Post and told them where to put it. And, you know, you don't have a leg to stand on if you're saying that you don't recognize this transaction. 104 block 85. Do you have to pay self-employed taxes quarterly? If it's your first year selling on eBay, will there be a penalty if I wait to filing next year? You want to do it every quarter. And what I like is I have my finances tracked through GoDaddy bookkeeping. And every quarter they tell me, okay, you should be paying this amount to the IRS. Because I'm in Nevada, I don't deal with state taxes, but you should also be doing that for your state taxes. And so I'll go in and I will then go to the IRS website. I have an account set up and I'll just send that money over. It's coming from my savings account because I hold money from my savings account so that I don't have to panic. But I believe that yourself, and I'm not a CPA at all, so this is just for entertainment purposes. I believe that your self-employment taxes are also calculated through your federal tax, because I do recall that I had to, I think I had to pay a little bit last year, a little bit more because I didn't have enough taken out. That was just on me. And so definitely make sure that you're not penalized by just calculating your taxes. Find a program like GoDaddy Bookkeeping, and that will definitely be the way to go for you. Non-store subscription accounts get 250,000 free insertions a month. I have a basic store subscription. I only get 600 free listings a month. I tell you, it's well worth it. I mean, I just don't off the top of my head know the exact benefits, especially recently with the changes that they made, because what you're describing is changes that were made very recently, but it's still definitely worth your while. You know, one benefit I can tell you about is beginning of July, all of us are going to get our coupons. You get the basic store, I think it's the starter store. You get a $25 coupon for eBay branded boxes and tape and all that. And then I think I have the store beyond. It's I don't know the exact name, but it's the store level beyond starter, and I get a $50 coupon, and I'll buy my eBay branded boxes. I have a bunch of the eBay branded tape, and I think it works great. Caroline A says Australia Post. Yes, so Australia Post is actually, in my opinion, from what I've seen, a lot better and a lot more thorough than the USPS US service, and so that's quite awesome. So you guys out there in Australia are very fortunate to have a more competent company who understands that it is ideal to have up-to-date, clear tracking information, and so that I do envy you for. No update on the toner cartridge situation because they haven't sent it back yet. Surprise, surprise. See, when you call a scammer out on their trickery, they sort of think twice. So they know that if they get one or more cartridges back, or I get one or more cartridges back, and the weight isn't the way where it should be, you know, hey, it's not happening. You know, and they've had those cartridges for at least 2 weeks before filing the claim. There's nothing stopping them from using about half the toner in it and sending it back. And that game isn't going to play with me. So now I will let you guys know as soon as I find out more on that. So I am going to wrap this up because, again, I have things that I have to do for the wife. She's actually coming back from California to Vegas. And I know from experience, it is absolutely not fun to return back and find that things aren't done and finished. You just want to kind of relax, and I don't want her to have to put up with all that. So I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you if you're watching this at a later date. Thank you for watching this far through. And regardless of all the stuff I've talked about, just remember, flipping ain't easy. And we will talk to you guys here very soon.